Hello guys, welcome to Bhamna's Online Academy. So in this video, we are going to see the AS24 ICI illustrations as well as your test your knowledge questions. Please make sure to watch the part 1 which will cover all your concepts so this solving of questions becomes way much easier. Yes, so let's start with your example number 1. So in your example number 1, they tell that there is a company XY which runs a famous chain of restaurants. Okay, it decides to sell its stake in one of the restaurants. So it has multiple restaurants, out of which one they are planning to sell it off. Okay. This restaurant contributes around 5% of total revenue of the entire business, and XY does not intend to sell any other restaurant as a part of its strategy. That means only one restaurant they are going to sell off, and that particular restaurant is, holding 5% of the total revenue of the group. Here what did I tell you, that one condition that we read about those three conditions which makes up the discontinuing operation. One was that it must be a major line of business or a major product or a major geographical segment, and to fulfill that we read that it must, if AS17 can be applied in it, it must be a reportable segment under AS17. We read that, right? So here, in for reportable segment, to be classified, there is one condition that it must be 10% or more. It must be 10% or more. That means the revenue of that particular component or that particular product or that particular division must be 10% or more of the total group's revenue, but here it is just 5%. So your one condition will not get fulfilled, which is the major line of business condition. So that's why it does not constitute a discontinuing operation. It does not constitute a discontinuing operation because it is not a major line of business or geographical area. Okay. Yes, I hope you understood example number 1. Next, let's understand example number 2. So in example number 2, they tell you that Group MN operates in various industries, hotels, airlines, software, through its subsidiaries. So there are a lot of subsidiary and there are different sectors that they are working on. It has decided to sell the airline business. So like Kingfisher, they are now deciding that they are going to sell off the airline business so that they are able to concentrate on their other verticals. Okay. As a result, it has started to sell its aircraft and paying off the associated liabilities. So gradually what it has done is it has started to sell its aircraft, and slowly they are starting to pay off the liabilities and all of that they are doing. Okay. During the year, what it has done is it has sold off 5 aircrafts. 5 aircrafts are being sold out of the fleet of 50 aircrafts. That means 5 have been sold out of the total 50 aircrafts that they have as a part of the sale. The airline business constitute 25% of the group revenue. 25% of the group revenue. Okay. So here also the last we read know that major line of business, the same condition, if you check here, it is 10% or more of the total group revenue. Okay. So that means this is a major line of business. That means the airline business is a major line of business. Okay. And what was another condition about DCO is that the operationally and financial reporting purpose, this must be able to be distinguished separately. It must be able to be distinguished separately. So here, if it is an airline business, the assets of this airline business is going to be different. The aircrafts are going to be its asset, etc. Correct. So the hotel business and the software business also, everything is going to be different. So this airline business can be distinguished separately. And the third condition was that it must have a single plan. So about the single plan, the question has not told anything, so we are just going to assume that this condition is also getting fulfilled. The rest of the two condition, you have understood how it gets fulfilled. So here we are going to say that it is going to be a discontinuing operation. It is going to be a discontinuing operation, and all the three conditions of a single plan, major line of business, and distinguishment, all these three are getting fulfilled. Single plan, they have not said anything in the question. We are assuming that it is going to be fulfilled. Okay, fine. That was your example number 2. Now let's move on to example number 3. So what is your example number 3? So here they are saying there is an entity RT. There is a company and it is working in a single state. That means geographically it is only working in one state, but it has 3 products, which is X, Y and Z. So there are 3 products, but it is working in one state. Details with respect to performance of each of the products are given as under. That means about X, about Y, about Z, and then total they are given here. What is the sale, what is the COGS, gross margin, operational expenses, profit before tax, everything they have given here. They are selling that RT has decided to sell its business relating to product Y. So this product they are deciding to sell, okay, to another entity. Since product Y constitutes a major product, it will be okay. This is the answer. Okay, let me tell you. So now here the same major condition you are going to check. How are you going to see? You have to see the 10% criteria. Okay, so when you are going to learn segment reporting, you are going to learn it in more detail. For now, let's take the sales condition. Okay, so for sales, it has to be 10% or more. The total is 35%, 35, sorry, 35 lakh is the total revenue of the group. Out of which, if what is the 10%? 10% will be 3 lakh 50,000. But here the Y's revenue is 14 lakh, which means it is 10% or more. That means it is a major line of business. That means it is going to be a major line of business. Yes, so I hope you understood this. So this is why it will be a discontinuing operation. So this is the reason it is going to be a discontinuing operation. Or you can see the condition for profit before tax also. So here no, it is 3 lakh 55,000. 1 minute, yes. So here it is 3 lakh 55,000. What is 10% of 3 lakh 55,000? 35,500. Here the profit of Y division is more than 10%, which is 1,50,000, correct? So this condition is also getting fulfilled. So again, it will become a reportable segment under AS17 because of sales condition getting fulfilled because of profit before tax condition getting fulfilled. So here, since it is a reportable segment under AS17, it will be considered as a major line of business. 1 minute. So it will be considered as a major line of business, right? So that is the reason it will be called as a discontinuing operation. That's the reason it will be called as a discontinuing operation. I hope you understood this also. Next is example number 4. So now let's understand the example number 4. So in example number 4, they tell that GH. So GH is a company. It is a large car manufacturing company. Okay. So it manufactures large cars. Okay. It's a large, I mean, it manufactures a lot of cars. Yes. And it is a big company. Okay. So it decides to discontinue its manufacturing operation. That means production process. It is, planning to discontinue related to the diesel cars production. So they're planning that they are going to stop producing diesel cars. Okay, and it wants to restructure its business by revamping its existing operations and start new manufacturing process for the manufacture and sale of electric vehicles. So they were producing what, diesel cars. Now they want to start producing electric vehicles. They want to stop this and start producing this. Will it be a discontinuing operation? The answer here is that here you can see that they are switching from one product to the another. That means this is a evolutionary phasing out. Okay, to bring in a evolutionary product, you're phasing out an old product. Evolutionary, the first condition that we read in the what is not a discontinuing operation, right? So this is a evolutionary phasing out of an product. Okay, to bring in a newer version of a product or to bring in a new product in place. So in such case, it will not be a discontinuing operation. It will not be a discontinuing operation. Okay. Yes. So when we are saying this is not a discontinuing operation, we should also remember that when we were reading these criteria, so the gradual or evolutionary phasing out or discontinuing several product at once or shifting of location or closing of facilities, all these when we read this criteria that if these circumstances are given, it may not necessarily be a discontinuing operation. Normally it is not a discontinuing operation, but if they are fulfilling the three conditions that has to be fulfilled, for a component to become a discontinuing operation, then it will become a discontinuing operation. Directly this situation will not be a discontinuing operation, but when this situation arises, along with it, if these three conditions are also met, then it will become a discontinuing operation, correct? Yes. So the same way you have to remember that here normally it is a discontinuing operation. It is not a discontinuing operation only. But in case if this scenario fulfills the three conditions that we had read. What were the three conditions that we had read? Conditions. First, we read that there should be a single plan. Second, we had read that it should represent a major line of business. And third, we had read that it should be distinguished operationally and also in case of financial reporting. Yes, so if all these three conditions are also met, yes, by the diesel car production unit, because this is what is getting discontinued, right? So if it also meets all these three criteria, then it will become a discontinuing operation. So here that's why I said it can be depending on what the situation is, it will be concluded whether it is a discontinuing operation or not. If it's just evolutionary phasing out, then it is not a discontinuing operation. But along with this, if these three conditions are also fulfilled, then it will become a discontinuing operation. Hope you understood this. Yes. So that was all about your examples of AS24. Now, okay, so now let's move on to the MCQs part. So in MCQ, they are saying AB has decided to dispose of its clothing division. So they are planning to close down this clothing division, and they've asked you what is the date of initial disclosure event. So here we had read 2 points, correct? It will be earlier of the two. It will be earlier of the two. The first is when the binding agreement has made, when the agreement has been made, and the second one when there is an approved formal plan, when there is an approved plan plus it has been announced also. When these both are done, either you take this date or this date, whichever is earlier will be the date of initial disclosure event. So binding agreement happened when it was on 1st July. Okay, then when was the plan approved? So see, date of board approval, it was approved on 1st March. And when was the announcement made? Announcement was made on 15th March. Okay, so when did this both happen and completed? So 1st March, if this happened, then 15th March announcement was made, then both were completed, both the conditions were completed only on 15th March. So it will be either 15th March or 1st July, whichever is earlier, which means it is 15th March. So your answer is going to be answer answer is going to be option number B. The next one is to qualify as a component that can be distinguished operationally and for financial reporting purpose, what should be fulfilled out of this? Okay, so first the assets and liabilities should be directly attributed, revenue should be directly attributed, and we had also read that majority of operating expenses should be attributed. So all the above, all these three has to be met. This was already there in our notes and the concept video I had taught you. Next is, which of the following statements is incorrect? You have to find. First, they are saying that a discontinuing operation is a component, that is correct, and it represents a separate major line of business or geographical area of operation. This is correct. So it's a separate major line of business only, correct. And next is, they can be distinguished operationally and for financial reporting purpose. This is also correct. Next is, this that may or may not be distinguished. The answer is no, it has to be distinguished operationally or for financial reporting purpose, correct. We read that this is a must condition that has to be fulfilled. And finally, they are saying that there should be a, it may be disposed of in entirety, piecemeal, or whatever it is, but it should be pursuant to an overall plan. So plan should be made, but the way of distributing the assets could be any. Entirely you can do, piecemeal you can do. This is also correct. Plan is what is more important. So here the answer will be C. So this is the incorrect statement. Okay. Next is, identify the incorrect statement. Again the same thing. So discontinuing operation are infrequent events, correct. It does not happen every day, it is an infrequent event only, correct. But this does not mean that all infrequent events are discontinuing operation. Even this I taught you in the concept video, that not every infrequent event is a discontinuing operation. Discontinuing operation can be or is an infrequent event. Okay, this is correct. Not everything is a DCO. Okay. Next is the fact that a disposal of a component of an enterprise is classified as a discontinuing operation would always raise a question about the enterprise ability to continue as a going concern. What I told you, this discontinuing operation is related to a particular component, and entities closing down will be known as your going concern. Okay, so just because a division is going to get closed doesn't mean the entity will itself get closed, correct. So this does not raise a question regarding the entity's ability as a going concern. This is wrong. Okay, wait, would always have written. So sometimes it may raise a question about the entity's going concern if this is a very major component, but not always. Okay, so this is a incorrect statement. But let's read the other two statements also. For recognizing and measuring the effect of discontinuing operation, it does not provide any guidelines. Okay, so here recognizing and measurement we did not read, we only read about disclosures here. Okay, I also told you in that lecture that other standards will tell you how you have to recognize, how you have to measure, etc. So this statement is also correct. Next is, an enterprise shall include a description of discontinuing operation in its financial statement, beginning with the financial statements for the period in which initial disclosure event correct. Yeah, so when this event occurs or when this trigger button is turned on, from that year you have to start disclosing it. So which is the correct statement? So here the answer, incorrect statement, the answer is going to be B option. Okay, so what were the options? So the option were B, D, C and B, D, C, and B. Let's check this. B, D, C, and B. Yes, it's correct. Okay, then you have theoretical question. You will understand this if you go through by yourself. This is given in the notes already. Okay, and then the next is that Rohini Limited is in the so these are the practical questions. So for seventh question is Rohini Limited is in the business of manufacture of passenger cars. Okay, and commercial vehicles. So they basically manufacture vehicles. Okay, the company is working on a strategic plan. It is making a plan to close the production of passenger cars and to produce only commercial vehicles. So they are planning to close down one and only work on one over the coming 5 years. However, no specific plans have been drawn up for the sale of neither the division nor the assets. This is wrong. No, you have to make a plan on how you are going to, sell away your assets, whether it's going to be in entirety or in piecemeal, or you're just going to abandon it. You have to make a plan for it. If you don't make a specific plan, then one condition of DCO will not get fulfilled. Yes, so as a part of its prospective plan, it will reduce the production by 20% annually. It also has to establish a new factory to manufacture and all of that. So you are required to comment. So about this, you have to comment. So here they are saying that prospectively, what they will do is slowly they are going to reduce the production of passenger cars, and they will produce, and they are going to make a new factory to manufacture their commercial vehicles. So they are going to close down passenger cars. How they are going to do that? They are going to gradually reduce its production. Then what for commercial vehicles, how they are going to increase it? They are going to set up a new factory. This is what they have told in the question. You are required to comment about this. Is mere gradual phasing out of product by itself, can it be considered as a discontinuing operation? The answer is no. It cannot be a mere gradual phasing out. It should have a plan, and by that plan it should phase out. Only and only then it will be called a discontinuing operation. So this is an incorrect statement. Okay, next is if the company passes a resolution to sell some of the assets in the passenger car division and transfer a few other assets of the passenger car division to the new factory, does it trigger the application of AS24? The answer is here it will not trigger the AS24. Okay, because what happened here, they are saying they are going to sell off some. The answer is no. You have to either sell off entirely or you have to abandon it entirely. Okay. Few you cannot use in your company and few you cannot sell. Like that you cannot do. Either entire asset should get abandoned or sold off like that. Half you will abandon, half you will use in the factory. This cannot happen. So here, because they're telling they're going to use it in the new factory, then in such case, here in this case, it will not be a DCO. Okay. Finally, what will the above answer be different if the company resolved to sell the assets? Here they only sell the assets. So here they have not said some. That means here it indicates that they are going to sell all the assets. So they are going to sell all the assets in a phased but time bound manner. Then in such case, yes, this will be a discontinuing operation. Okay, now let's read the answer about this. This was our seventh question. So yes, so 7-1. Okay, what have they written here? See, mere gradual phasing out is not considered as a discontinuing operation. It should always have a plan. Then the next one here, the resolution. The plan that they have made is silent about the time period. Also, one more thing, what they were missing there is correct. I told no, they are only transferring some of the assets. That was one problem. The second problem was they did not mention in what time period were they going to sell this off. Whereas in the third, you see here it is happening in a time bound manner. So this is the reason it will not be a discontinuing operation, because there's a not definite time period told about when the completion will happen. Okay, when the discontinuing operation will be completed or when the discontinuance will be completed, about that they have not told anything. It is silent about the time period. Also, it is only selling some assets and it is going to transfer the rest. Okay, so the closure roadmap here is missing, therefore it will not be a discontinuing operation. It will not be applicable. Next year it is going to happen in a phased and time bound program, the third one. So, and it also has a definite time and a clear roadmap, thus it is going to attract AS24. Here mainly they are focused about the time period, because that was the difference between 2 and 3. One was the assets and second was the time period. So they focus more on the time period and route. You can also additionally add the point of assets also. Yes. So yes guys, this was all about your AS24. I've completed the concepts as well as the sums. In case if you have any doubts, please post it in the comment section below. And I've also released what will be the schedule of the upcoming lectures of AS series, so you can check that out on my Telegram channel. Yes. So in case if you like that video, please make sure to like, share, and also subscribe to the channel, and also join the Telegram channel for quicker updates. Thank you so much.